American law enforcement officials say they're going to be demanding the extradition of a terrorism suspect arrested in Canada this week. A Jewish group here in Hamilton says the federal government has to do more to keep potential terrorists out of this country. Al Sweeney has the latest tonight.
The Hamilton Jewish Federation tells us today it's disheartened and disappointed by these latest events. Police say a man arrested in Canada was planning a massive attack on Jewish people in New York City, timed to the first anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel. With the anniversary of the attack on Israel coming up on October 7th, the FBI in the U.S. says a man from Pakistan living in Canada was planning a mass shooting in support of the terrorist group ISIS at a Jewish center in Brooklyn. The FBI and RCMP say 20-year-old Muhammad Shahzeb Khan, also known as Shahzeb Jadoon, was arrested on terrorism charges in Ormstown, Quebec, on his way to New York. The head of the Hamilton Jewish Federation is struck by his age.
One of the most disturbing things as a Jewish community for us is the fact that this individual was 20 years old. So it's another generation of hate and another generation of terror that we're now dealing with.
He says Jewish organizations have been on alert since the Hamas attack last year, and Canadian officials have to plug holes in their immigration system.
I would say, unfortunately, that multiple levels of law enforcement dropped the ball. Immigration Canada dropped the ball. There was a similar incident in November with a father and son from Egypt that also the plot was barely foiled.
During our investigation, we discovered Khan used encrypted messaging apps in planning a mass shooting attack at a Jewish site in New York City.
In this case, a court filing by the FBI says Khan was planning the largest attack on U.S. soil since 9/11. They say Khan's goal was to kill as many Jewish people as possible. Police say Khan communicated his support for ISIS. A security expert says that made him relatively easy to identify. But other potential terrorists may not be so easy.
The much larger threat, which we all have to be concerned about, is the lone wolves that just are inspired by the content of organizations like ISIS, but do not communicate with them directly. They just take basically the order of the general attack and learn from the propaganda what to do.
An emergency doctor from McMaster University who studied terrorism says the goal of the terrorists is to create fear that turns into hatred.
The attack against Jews will cause stress in society, will cause enmity between groups, and it makes it even harder to have any dialogue. When you get people who are thinking in extreme ways, when you get people who are chanting slogans, you can't have a dialogue towards peaceful solution.
So Khan is charged in Canada and the U.S. with participating in or supporting a terrorist group. He could get 20 years in prison.